We see the word migration in the headlines all the time, but it's so much more than just people moving around. It's this incredibly powerful force that can literally redraw our maps, rewire our economies, and totally reshape our cultures. Today, we're going to break down exactly how it all works. So let's just start with the most basic question of all. What actually happens when people pack up and move?
Well, the short answer is it changes just about everything. In this explainer, we're going to dive into how migration reshapes our world across three really big areas: the political shifts, the economic engine, and the cultural exchange.
Okay, let's kick things off with the political shift. See, when large groups of people move, they aren't just bringing their suitcases. They're bringing their votes, their needs, and their influence. And that, right there, is powerful enough to redraw political maps and even write new laws. You've really got to think of this like a two-sided coin. On one side, you have the destination, the place that gains people, and with them, more legislative power. But on the other side, you have the place of origin, which loses people, and because of that, a little bit of its political clout. It's a direct transfer of power from one place to another. A perfect example of this happened right here in the US. Back in the 1950s, political power was pretty much locked up in the northern states. But then, two things changed the game: the interstate highway system and air conditioning. Suddenly, people started flocking south to what we now call the Sun Belt. By the 1980s, this wasn't just a population shift. It was a full-blown political earthquake that moved a huge amount of representation and influence south.
So, if there's one thing to take away from this, it's that policy almost always follows people. Governments have to react, right? Sometimes that reaction is restrictive, born out of fear, like the Chinese Exclusion Act back in the 19th century. But other times, policies can be designed to help, creating things like guest worker programs or asylum laws to manage the flow.
All right, on to our second piece of the puzzle, the economic engine. I mean, sure, politics are a big deal, but at its heart, a lot of migration is really about the search for work. And that quest creates this powerful engine for financial change, not just for the new home, but for the old one too. And here's that two-sided coin again, but this time we're talking money. Destination countries, they get a massive boost. Migrants come in and fill critical labor shortages, they pay taxes, and they often support aging populations. Now, the country of origin might be losing some workers, but in return, they gain something absolutely huge.
And that brings us to a really important term you need to know: remittances. It's a simple idea. It's just the money that migrants earn in a new country and send back home to support their family and friends.
So, just how big of a deal are these remittances? Well, get ready for this number. It's a big one. That's $766 billion. Let that sink in. That's how much money migrants sent home in the year 2022 alone. We're not talking about spare change here. This is a financial lifeline that can completely transform entire communities back home, funding everything from new businesses to better schools.
Okay, so we've covered politics and economics. But now let's talk about the impact that you and I probably feel most directly in our day-to-day lives: the cultural exchange. When you get right down to it, the movement of people is the #1 way culture spreads around the world.
And once again, we see this incredible two-way street. Destination countries get this amazing blend of new languages, new foods, new music, new traditions. I mean, just think about your favorite restaurant. But back in the origin country, while living standards might go up thanks to remittances, it can also create new kinds of social pressures. This chart right here is a perfect snapshot of that cultural influence in action. Did you ever stop and wonder why a whopping 75% of American high school students who learn a second language choose Spanish? It's no accident. It's a direct reflection of the fact that the largest immigrant population in the US is Spanish-speaking. Culture follows people, even right into the classroom. And you can see this cultural diffusion everywhere. It's why Indian food is one of the most popular cuisines in the UK. It's how Bollywood films became a global phenomenon. It's why vibrant communities like Chinatowns are now essential parts of so many cities around the world. Of course, this blending isn't always perfectly smooth. It can also spark tough conversations about integration and cultural values. And this really gets to the deeply personal side of all of this. It is so important to remember the human cost. Behind those huge economic numbers are individual families. And this quote says it all. While that money provides stability, the simple absence of a parent can put an incredible strain on the family left behind. So, we've touched on politics, economics, and culture, which of course brings us to the big question: why does any of this actually matter to us?
Well, it matters because understanding all these moving parts isn't just some academic exercise. Geographers, city planners, economists, they use this exact data to make huge decisions about our shared future. We're talking about everything from planning cities to handle growth, to forecasting where we'll need workers, to figuring out how we can all live together better.
So let's just quickly pull it all together. What did we learn? Politically, power moves around. Economically, it's often an exchange of labor for capital. And culturally, we get this incredible new diversity, but it can come with new social challenges. It's this complex, fascinating system of give and take for both the place people go to and the place they leave behind.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've seen how migration has shaped our world so far. The real question is, in an age where we are more connected than ever, how is the next wave of migration going to reshape our communities? Thanks for joining us.